Welcome back, baby dolls. My nipples are currently in a tailspin. That's right, they're actually spinning right now. I have to show you this video. Thank you to Sir Nathaniel, the Dogg. As I've shown you before, friends, we have extremely high value content, which has already come mega, triple mega, thick, juicy Latina butt alpha has come out. I made a special breaking video, mega alpha, PulseChain pDAI hidden layer 2 trick. It's a secret. So, messages revealed from NineIronCapital and transactions right now. There are PulseChain layer 2 forks of Arbitrum and Optimism, and there's going to be some sort of encapsulating, borrowing and lending thingamajig mechanism, which is going to be able to transfer value over, and it's just going to basically play out what Richard said would happen 4 years ago. You have to watch this video, friends. You literally have to watch this video. I start the video with no hat. I thought it was going to be like a, a 2-minute video. And then as I'm going through it, like my head starts clicking with all the puzzle pieces. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the prophecy, isn't it? This is actually how it would all happen. Because it's genius. Okay, so if you go through, you have to watch it. You really have to watch the video. Because what I'm about to show you, okay, you know how your nipples are currently in a tailspin, friends? Well, I'm telling you right now, you better stock up on Band-Aids because it's about to get a lot more juicy right now. Now, I want to say a very special thank you to my friend Sir Nathaniel, the Dogg, not the cat, the Dogg. Man, I don't know how... Which one of you guys has been speaking to Richard? How the hell did you make this video in 2 seconds, by the way? Back to back, right off with the NineIronCapital. Bro, I literally just started hearing him talk about layer 2s, and now you guys have linked it to a past. Oh, man, this is wild. So, friends, we're going to play this video here, and I'm going to stop and start it along the way. We'll do our best. If there's a demonetization YouTube filter, I'll try to select so that the volume goes and fixes itself. But this is, friends, this is insane. So, what we're going to see is we're going to see NineIronCapital's posts from today. The man who, right, some say he is nothing compared to Happy Gilmore. We're going to see his post, and we'll slow it down. We'll go through it. It's going to show you everything happening today is exactly what Richard said would happen 4 years ago. So let's continue. Okay, let's go now.
The reason why Hex appreciates as much as it does is because we reduce the velocity to 0 by locking it and staking it. And so you reach this dilemma, which is if you create a layer 2 system where a giant stake is created, a giant 15-year stake, and then people can purchase shares in that stake. Create a layer 2 system where a giant stake is created, a giant 15-year stake, and then people can purchase shares in that stake.
So I'm going to pause it right here, friends. So he's going to soon talk about Grayscale. Okay, so Grayscale, in the last cycle, they had an encapsulated, it was the pre-ETF. Okay, so they had a buy-only vehicle. It would buy Bitcoin, you can't sell it, you can't redeem. So you'd give it money, it goes and buys Bitcoin, and then they give you a share, and the share can trade up and down. Now, if you sell, you only sell the shares. You can't redeem it. So the vehicle would only buy Bitcoin, and it would put it, it's like a big black hole. Now, eventually what ended up happening is because it ended up below par value, everybody basically took them to court and the SEC, and they wanted to be able to redeem because the discount became huge. So it would trade at a 25% premium, but then it went to the huge 40 or 50% discount. You know how we're watching kind of MicroStrategy with the NAV? It's similar thing kind of happening today. Now, let's read Mr. NineIronCapital's post here. He says, if the origin address bags move into the layer 2 chain, it becomes a PulseChain digital asset treasury company. pDAT, that ass. Its asset value will be reflected in the price of pDAI, which will be the traded shares that own the treasury company. So he's showing that this is similar to what I guess could play out for pDAI and in the Ethereum treasury and the core coins. So he says the OA's pDAI bag will be part of the treasury. The company can trade its assets to maintain an asset-backed peg. So it can basically buy when pDAI is below the NAV, and it can sell or it can buy the PulseX coins when it's above the NAV, right? And then he says pDAI to $1 is inevitable. So he's showing how, friends, in this video that we just saw, Richard Hart, he gave this speech back in like 2022 in front of everyone out here, 21, 22, whatever. It's just showing that this whole idea of encapsulating stuff and then these things become buy only, I think it's a way to transfer the value. Okay, because there's no selling here. You basically, you get some sort of share thing. But yeah, we'll see how it continues. Just listen to this.
Is that virtual supply that is created, and does it therefore increase the velocity and then decrease the demand? And I would have thought originally yes. So I wouldn't have originally wanted to have seen people build layer 2 encapsulated stakes and then issuing shares of hex stakes on other chains or on other networks. Then I switched my mind up.
So I'll just quickly want to show you again. This is very important, friends. Velocity is how often the transactions happen, okay? Now, one of the things that people's minds were blown with hex is Richard wants you to stake the hex. Remember, this is back then. No one understood what the hell was going on. Because back then, friends, okay, it's still true to today. People think if your currency, your crypto can be used everywhere, that it's bullish. Wrong. Totally dog shit bearish. Because that increases the velocity because you're spending the coin, okay? The things with the highest value have very low velocity. The transactions are very low. Gold, Bitcoin, your home. You don't want to transact your home every 2 seconds, right? So this stuff where people take it away and there's no velocity and they just put it on the shelf, right? It just sits there. Yeah, and the stuff, you know what has high velocity, friends? Paper currency. We're always trading it back and forth, and guess what? That's always losing value. So that's why you want your coin to have low velocity. That's why one of Hex's biggest criticisms back in 2020 and 2021, they said, oh, the coin's got no volume. It's got no volume. But no, it was designed to have no volume because volume means trading back and forth. You don't want people to be trading it. You want them to buy and then put it away. And the people were trying to say, oh, it's got no volume, it's got no volume. Yeah, you don't want all these dirty hands to be trading it around back and forth and dumping the crap out of it and slicing it up. You don't actually want that, okay? So what Richard Hart is saying here, he said initially he thought if you encapsulate, so if you have basically if you have a treasury vault and it has the coins in there, if you mint these shares around there, what he thought would happen is the velocity goes up because now you can access and spend it more, all right, okay? But what he's going to say probably is with Grayscale, it showed that no, it didn't do that because people are trading around the garbage, the paper, the claims on it, but the actual treasury, it's buy only. So let him continue.
Got it, and I'll tell you why. You know, the Grayscale Trust is the same thing. It's encapsulated Bitcoin ownership. So the Grayscale.
So also NineIronCapital replying to my friend Sommi, aka your friend Sommi, aka me. It is part Grayscale, part MicroStrategy. It navigates the Genius Act perfectly while ensuring maximum long-term price protection for the Richard Hart ecosystem. The origin address bags can earn yield while never being sold. I'm not exactly sure exactly what that earning yield part means. Okay, I don't know because we're doing this off the cuff, right? Is it Ethereum yield? No, or is it yield from fees? People going back and forth, paying a fee to something? I'm not actually sure, right? Is the transaction, is that what it is? Maybe it is, you know, it's kind of like every time people transact or bridge in and out, they pay a fee and the OA is collecting their fees. Almost like, friends, collecting a toll. You know what I mean? It's like you collect a toll from a city, you know, but let's say the toll of the city, what it does is like, imagine, you know, main cities, they got roads, yeah, going in and out of the city. Imagine the tolls collected. What they would do is the state government would like collect all the money and then it would go buy property in the city and it would never sell it. Yeah. So what it would do is it's basically making, if you own property in the city, it's making your city more scarce, right? Some say scarce over there in Ireland. Okay. Shout out to my baby dolls over there in Ireland. So think about it. Let's say there are, you know, 100,000 homes for sale. But imagine there was tolls going in and out, basically taxing on the travel back and forth, back and forth. And imagine you're collecting citizen taxes, yeah? But I'm telling you this, like, we've never heard anything like this. I'm making this just, it's like I'm just downloading it from the internet, just showing you an example, right? Downloading in my head, this peanut brain. So if you're taxing all the citizen nations, okay, what does the government usually do? They take your money and then they go invest back in. You know what I mean? They're meant to. They pay some salaries to the government workers and then they go fix up the roads, dress stuff up. Okay, but in crypto, because it's really efficient, right? You don't have all these like workers and salaries you got to deal with anywhere near as much. So I guess what Richard, maybe, I don't know, friends, maybe part of the thinking is, hey, when all the citizens are getting taxed, why don't we, because you're paying a tax in the tokens. Yeah, so it's basically like it's getting drained over time the more activity there is. So it's basically, it could be like going into a vault that just never gets sold. Yeah, so like I said, it would be just like a city. It would be similar to the city collects taxes from all the citizens, income tax, and then the government uses the money. And remember I told you there's 100,000 homes. Imagine every year they buy 1,000 homes. Every year, yeah? So next year there's only 99,000. In 10 years, there's only 90,000 homes. You see what I mean? So if there's more people coming in and the land's getting more scarce, over time it's getting more rare. Okay, I'm wondering if that's similar to what it does, but that's why I'm showing you this. It's part Grayscale, part MicroStrategy. Very interesting. Let's continue.
Grayscale Trust raises money through private placement memorandums for private investors. They use that money to purchase Bitcoin, and then those people that invested in the private placement, they don't have any right to redemption. They can't actually turn those shares back into Bitcoin. The only thing they can do is after they wait 6 months, resell those shares on the open market, OTCQX, etc. And historically, there's been about a 20% premium. Recently, there's been a discount. So
that's what actually happened, right? I just got to show you. So the Grayscale Bitcoin premium discount. Remember, it's now redeemable 1-for-1. Okay, so what I'm now going to do in a very family-friendly way is just show you. This was the Grayscale premium discount. So it used to be 25%, and then it went down to, we can just check it out, down to minus 40%. Yeah. So I'm guessing this is going to be part like it. And as NineIronCapital said, part MicroStrategy. Let's continue.
If you think about it from that perspective, the Grayscale Trust just buys Bitcoin and never sells it. How could that possibly be bad for price? I mean, that seems like the most beautiful, glorious thing you could ever have for price. And from that perspective, encapsulated hex shares would be the same thing.
So once again, we have the post here, right, of everything I just read, yeah? It's just trying to overlay and say, we're using these same themes of it becoming a digital asset treasury company. And look, so, you know, remember, look at this part. Remember, focus again. If its asset value is reflected in the price of pDAI, which will be the traded shares that own the treasury company. And the OA bag is part of the treasury. Yeah, so it's a claim on it. Okay, it's a claim on it. So that's another way to transfer, I guess, to transfer the value, because you don't actually have to click a sell. At that point, you're transferring value. Let's continue.
So a 15-year stake gets created and people are buying shares in it. Well, it's going to be 15 years till you're going to see those hex on the main chain again. So I'm actually bullish on encapsulated stakes and encapsulated hex shares and other networks. And
by the way, okay, this next part, I'm going to have to ask you to put your top back on, because your nipples are going to be in a tailspin that's going to shock the neighbors if they see you. This is going to go wild, okay? Because this next part, this is where it all comes together. You're going to hear him talk about if another chain is to do something, and you can just replace that with the chain of pulses. Shane Hart's brother, Richard Hart, his chain, PulseChain, okay? When he says another chain, you think Shane Hart's brother's chain, okay? There's only one chain, PulseChain. So let's listen to this carefully. See, he's ready, says, if on another chain, if you wanted to go through the work, so let's continue. Let's listen to this man who used to live on top of a sandwich shop.
Code's already done for it. It's open sourced. You could deploy it on another chain if you wanted to go through the work of doing it. And the code's already done for it. It's open source. You could deploy it on another chain if you wanted to go through the work of doing it.
See how they just kept playing it? Yeah. You could just deploy it on another chain if you really wanted to. The work's already done. Let's continue.
Now we've also got a wallet, Hex wallet, that's done. Had time to release it. We've also got a wallet, X wallet that's done.
He just posted this today, by the way. Okay. Not Richard Hart loss, Richard Hart win posted. Go.com.hex.com just became lightning fast. Updated. It's rumored, and look at this, it's rumored the next update will support non-MetaMask wallets. It's almost hinting, huh? Preparing for another wallet? It's very interesting, right? He could have just wrote, like, why even make that a deal? People using Rabby and other wallets, Cuck-based wallet, Trust wallet. Like, why make it? I don't know. Look, I just feel like there's red arrows just pointing in our face here. Okay, so there's something to pay attention to. We might see the fabled fart wallet, friends. The dream would be the fart wallet. The fart wallet would have a decentralized native stable coin, which is actually a ping pong coin. Okay, it swaps through the chain. It has inbuilt privacy. It'll use the Railgun technology if you want to swap through. Supports multiple chains. And just to let you know, friends, a lot of you knew, but here, I've got to hypnotize you just once more. So Richard Hart, let's actually turn on the light. So friends, Richard Hart, he's already had someone building the wallet for a long time. He spoke about it in 2022. So he's already had someone long time. Unless you really think he's really fat and lazy, he's not doing anything. But I doubt it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why a lot of people say, he's disappeared. And I'm telling you, I don't think he's disappeared, man. Firstly, he's posting a lot. Secondly, we're running the Soylana playbook. Everything looks bad. Everything looks dead. It's all there if you know what to look for. We know what to look for, by the way. You look through the blockchain. All this stuff is happening on the chain. Friends, you got to remember, he did the Warlord Richard stuff season 1. He got a lot of cultists. Maybe he's like, you know what? I've got a lot of cultists now in that regard. I want to speak to a new kind of person. I want someone who checks stuff on chain. I want people who believe and they don't just take the words of a Twitter account. I want those types of people because I know they're going to hold the ground. They're not going to leave. Because, like, what if I want to take a break? Okay? What if he's sick on... What if he, for 1 year, he doesn't want to live on top of a sandwich shop anymore? What if he wants to go to Disney World? Or a water-themed park? You know what I mean? What if he wants to go do that? All those PulseChain core coin maxis, Richard Hart maxis, do they just click sell and leave? You bet your ass they do, because they're there for him. Maybe he said, you know what? I want people to be here for, like, my ideas, not just me. Because if I disappear, they disappear, and it's all for nothing. You know? It's bigger concepts to think about, but not really bigger concepts. Because one, I'm here putting it here for you. Number one, and number two, just like, friends, take yourself out of your fluffy slippers and mine, which are very, very nice and cute right now. Just take yourself out of these and just imagine for 1 second you had built a chain that you want to last for decades and a lifetime. Yeah? But imagine you built a city and you're like, oh, I want people to build hospitals and schools and banks and orange juice parks and all these cities. And then all these people follow you to the city and people start building. And then you say, okay, I want to go to Hawaii for a month. Imagine as soon as you got on the plane to Hawaii, everybody in the city slapped down the buildings and they just walked out. Imagine that. Okay, well, if you're a core coin maxi, that's effectively what most people are doing. Richard Hart stops streaming, people G and leave. Okay? So what he's doing is he goes, I'm going to do what Satoshi did. I've got a filter for these non-believers. Yeah, that's what Satoshi did. Friends, Satoshi didn't want the word investment contract on the Bitcoin website. He goes, I don't want people to, like, come in here for the money. I want people to look at it and they make their own decision themselves. Lord Satoshi had that, friends. You see? No promises. By the way, he didn't even write about the halvening in the white paper. He didn't say, oh, by the way, my coin is designed to pump. He didn't write about it. He probably wanted people to check the code and see this feature, and then they can decide whether they want to own Bitcoin because of this scarcity enhancing feature of cutting the supply reward in half every 4 years. These are design choices. See, a lot of people said, oh, you should have done more. You should have told us more. And then Satoshi, if he was here, he'd put on his moggles and he'd say, go stuff yourself, you little G. He says, I want you to check it yourself. Go check the code. Go learn supply and demand. I want you to not look at the word investment contract. I want you to see this thing pumping and you decide if you think you want to get in. You go check it yourself. I don't want to go tell you that, because if I go start advertising for a bunch of non-believer scam, it would be completely defeating the purpose of the type of people I want to recruit into this community. I want people who do their own work, who grow their own oranges, who eat their own lollipops, who sharpen their own elbows. Do you get it? You don't get it, friends. I know most people don't get it. I didn't get it too at the start. What I'm doing is I'm just correlating the man who used to live on top of a sandwich shop, and I'm trying to look at all these actions, and I'm like, look, man, either this is totally random, because that's what people are saying, fans. They go, okay, look, man, he fluked it. It's totally random. He's winging it. Okay, look, man, okay, maybe he's winging it. But what if he's not? That's what I'm saying. What if it's not random? What if this is by design? You know? It's kind of funny, man. It's like, you see it with Elon Musk. Everyone's like, hey, Elon, why don't you add like a vending machine inside the Tesla? You never thought of that? Why don't you add a PlayStation inside the Tesla car? Like, do you really think the guy with 420 billion net worth, who's a freaking on his way 2x away from a trillionaire, you think like he's so dumb? He's like, oh, I never thought of that. Why don't I put a PlayStation in the Tesla? Do you know what I mean? Maybe he knows what he's doing. That's what I'm saying. So it's a matter of faith, right? Do you think they know what they're doing or not? That's what it comes down to. I hope your nipples are pegged, because it's about to get a bit more tingly. Let's continue.
Time to release it. There's a lot of really cool stuff kind of going on in the ecosystem.
I like this whole music. It's like, one of the main characters, like in the sci-fi detective things, they're like figuring out. They go, oh my gosh, this guy says he's not gay, but I've found him with glitter on his face in all these webcams, and he owns MicroStrategy and all the other Bitcoin Treasury shares. And you're just like trying to do all the research and find out here, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's got a tattoo of a rainbow flag on his butt. How didn't his girlfriend see that when they were naked swimming in the pool that day? Do you know what I mean? Like you're discovering this information. And you go, oh my gosh, they're all just sexually frustrated, non-straight people holding these MicroStrategy shares. They're just altcoiners, but they just haven't accepted it yet. You know what I mean? So I love that music and just how everything comes together. Now, friends, I'm going to show you some deep alpha. I mean, it's so deep. Get your belly button ready for this one. Thank you to Mr. PulseChain guy who made this table. Okay, friends, this table, I love tables. Do you love tables? I love tables, doorknobs. Yeah. I love armrests on the chair. Do you? Okay. I love drawers. Do you love drawers? Check out this table. This compares all the stable coins. Okay, check it out. KYC required. It means know your customer. Okay? Know your customer. It means show me your butthole. Give me your driver's license. I want to know what you smell like. Give me your ID. That's what know your customer is. Okay? Basically, hand over all your information. Look at all of them. Yes, 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 yes. pDAI, no. It doesn't just stop there, my friends. It continues. By the way, if you still don't get it by now, just click sell and leave, bro. You shouldn't even be in. Just go do something else, okay? I'm wearing a begging for a pagan hat, okay? And I've got a paperclip, a pin clip thing here, which is put the pDAI logo here for you. So if you still don't get it, just click sell and leave, because like there's something wrong with you at this point. You still don't get it? Stablecoin super cycle. MetaMask just released a freaking native stablecoin. Just go somewhere else, man. Anyway. Is there data breach risk? Yes on all of them. No for this. There is no data. Transaction monitoring. Yes and all of these. Yes for Tether, Circle, Paxos, First Digital, Gemini. No for pDAI. Blacklisted wallets. Friends, USDT and Tether and Circle, just them two, have blacklisted thousands of wallets totaling $960 million since January 2023. Pretty much $1 billion. They've just blacklisted it. Who did you blacklist? Were they all scammers? Where's the court order? Where's the judgment? Where's the ruling? Let them defend themselves. How do I know they're scammers? How do you know they're scammers? What, because the Coconut Intelligence Agency gave you a call? They were calling Donald Trump a scammer a couple of years ago. What happened there? Hunter Biden smoking crack? No. Everything's okay. Don't worry. Jack Dorsey, the original Twitter founder who sold Twitter to Elon. Jack Dorsey he had literal employees to get your little blue shitty check mark. They were taking, it's just like communism, right? It's just what happens, right? They were taking $10,000 to $20,000 bribes from famous people just to give them the blue check mark. They were taking secret payments, yeah. And they gave access to government employees, deep state, Coconut Intelligence Agency, fancy banana investigators, and they ran algorithms to delete all mentions of Hunter Biden's crack laptop. Yeah. You don't understand how sick these people are, friends. Hunter Biden, just to let you know, friends, he's literally incest. Yeah. He's got pictures of his freaking niece when she was like 16, 15. It's just, friends, he's just an incest. You know when you call someone a sicko, there has to be like a worse word for it. These people are literally some sort of demented, twisted cockroach scum. This is who the deep state is protecting, and they were calling Donald Trump the criminal. You know what? Maybe he's a criminal. Maybe they're all criminals. I'm telling you right now. But you say, oh, this guy is, but this guy isn't. No, you're all criminals to me. Do you understand? These are the people who have the blacklist function who are going to tell you who's a real account and who's like, illegal money. I don't trust that. You've already failed the tests. What? Hunter Biden's allowed to be incest and do this weird crack smoking stuff? You're going to smoke that much crack? At least share it with the boys. That's the deep state, by the way. And yes, Tether hired the deep state. They hired the Coconut Intelligence Agency and the fancy banana investigators. It's actually an article I covered for you many times. You see, pDAI, no blacklisted wallets. Let the market decide. Let the market decide. Look at this. Is there admin control? Yes to all of these stable coins. No for pDAI. Listen, if you still, after all that, you still don't get it, God bless you, man. You're a special human being. You're really special. You're really, really, really special. You need a pat. You need a pat. You need to be caressed gently. You got to be shown a few things. Like, you still don't get it after all that. Okay? I'll tell you something. I have faith you will get it. Thing is, though, it's going to come after a big, fat, thick, juicy green candle gets jammed down your throat. Higher prices will make you smarter. So as you can see, friends, the game has changed. Look at this cute picture I made. So in season 1, Richard Hart lived on top of a sandwich shop, but now he's evolving. In season 2, Richard is attaching a slippery slide right into the kitchen. See this cute picture? He's Richard from his castle, sliding all the way down. Here I am, the dev, and I'm cooking. Dev's cooking! You see that? The crypto industry is not prepared for this innovation. If you read the chain, it's all there. All right, it's all there. By the way, the onus is a lot of people think they're smart. They go, oh, no. Apparently, Richard's like talking to you through the chain. Richard Hart would have come and tell me personally what he's doing. He'd go and message me publicly on Twitter. No, Habib. And Habibi. The onus is now on you. Tell me why, after Richard Hart fudded the shit out of this coin, it's now up 500% higher. You're going to tell me that's random? Huh? You're going to tell me it's just random that this coin is up 500% higher than when he said it's a piece of shit, stupid coin with an infinite minting inflation bug and to stop buying it and that is pretty much a scam? Total coincidence, dude. You're telling me that after this coin inflated and Caddy killed it to zero, it's a total coincidence, dude, that it just recovered up to a higher point than when all the FUD started? Just total coincidence, dude. How many coincidences are there in crypto, by the way? In crypto, everybody is out to literally steal your money. There's no rules here. There's a public open market liquidity pool trading on a DEX. If there's a scammer, if there's an exploit, they take the money and they run. They don't leave it there for all the other chumps to come and scavenge. They literally take everything. They rug it and they go away. So you tell me, Richard Hart would have told me exactly what he's doing. I just showed you a video, bro, because you're a retardio. He did tell you what he was doing. It just happened 4 years ago, and he's not speaking to you like a retardio. He's speaking to you like you can think for yourself for 5 seconds. You get it now? Yeah, some people still don't get it, friends. You know what I mean? So some people still don't get it. I get it. You know what? You know when you're gonna get it? When this happens. We have the global nipple pegging. Ivan's laughing. We all demand he changes his peg nipple avatar. And then now, are you laughing now? 30x away to $1. Oh, now you're 10x away to $1. There you go. Okay, you still laughing there? As you get to see, friends, the market, it's going to teach you. Okay? But, gives you a choice. Which path do you want to learn? The easy way or the hard way? I want to learn the nipple way. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.